Hi, Finatics Fish friends. We got another episode of Finatics Fish Story Time for you today. Today we're going to feature a great book all about a little boy who learns to love his pet, Norman. The book is called Not Norman, a tale about a goldfish who worms his way into a little boy's heart. In keeping with the goldfish theme, we've got a bunch of interesting facts about goldfish. Goldfish have been being kept in ponds for over 1,000 years. They've been bred for lots of different shapes, sizes, and colors, and continue to be one of the most popular pets in all of history. But first, it's time for our story time. Get ready for Not Norman, and then when we're done with story time, one of our family's very favorite songs, Mr. Golden Sun, will be up next. I hope you have time to sit back and enjoy a great story time today.
Welcome to Finatics Fish Storytime, friends. Thanks for joining us again today. We have the Not Norman, a goldfish story by Kelly Bennett and illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. There's a goldfish. There's a little boy. Well, let's find out what this story is about. Look at all the fish. Little goldfish. Not Norman, the goldfish story. When I got Norman, I didn't want to keep him. I wanted a different kind of pet. Not Norman. Norman's kind of sad. I wanted a pet who could run and catch, or one who could climb trees and chase things. A soft, furry pet to sleep on my bed at night. Not Norman. All Norman does is swim around and 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 around. This is it, Norman, I decided. I'm trading you for a good pet. Norman doesn't move. Does he look worried? Not even a fin twitches. How can I trade him like this? No one will want a sorry-looking fish in a gunky bowl. Do you see the dirty bowl? When I drop Norman into his nice, clean bowl, he starts dipping and flipping and flapping his fins around. He looks so goofy, I had to laugh. Don't think that just because you made me laugh, I'm going to keep you. I tell him, tomorrow, you're out of here. Norman blows a stream of bubbles. Boop. Next day, I take Norman to school with me. If I talk him up real good during show and tell, maybe someone will want him. On the way there, we see my friend Austin. And Austin has a real cool dog, and he 7 puppies. Want to swap one of your pups for Norman, I ask? Who's Norman? Asks Austin. My goldfish, I say. By the time I rescue Norman, half of his water is gone. Oh boy. Look at those doggies lapping up that water. They were thirsty. I'm sorry, I tell Norman when we get to school. I'm really sorry. He just stares at me all googly-eyed. Look at him filling him in the at the watering hole, at the drinking fountain. Finally, it's my turn to show and tell. Just as I start to talk about goldfish, Emily shouts, "Jenny's gone! Who let my snake loose?" Uh-oh. Her tank is empty. What? Norman, one amazing fish. He's starting to tell the class. And now the classes, they're in a panic. Does anyone hear the story of how I got Norman? Does anyone even ask to hold his bowl? No. They're all jumping and screaming and crashing, or chasing the snake. Not Norman. He's looking right at me. Thanks for listening, I tell him. That afternoon, we go to my music lesson. As soon as it's over, I'm taking Norman back to the pet store. I take out my tuba and begin to play. Boom, 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 ba, 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 boom, boom, boo, boo, bee. I glance over at Norman. He's swaying back and forth. Glug, 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 glug. He mouths. Look, Norman's singing, I say. Pay attention, snaps the maestro, and try to play the proper notes. Maestro makes me stay for extra practice. By the time my lesson is over, it's too late to go to the pet store. Don't think that just because you like my music, I'm going to keep you, I tell Norman. He glugs. That night, I'm sound asleep when screech, scritch. What's that noise? Screech, scritch, screech. Yikes, there's something at the window. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spot. What's a spot? Norman! He isn't scared. He isn't swimming around in circles either. He glugs and gives me a little wave. I'm not alone. Together, Norman and I slide open the curtains. It was just a broken tree branch. Thanks for watching out for me, Norman. On Saturday, I take Norman to the pet store, just like I said I would. I look at the cats and the dogs and the snakes and the birds. I look at the hamsters and mice and lizards too. They all look like good pets, but they are not Norman. When I got Norman, I wasn't sure I wanted to keep him. But now, even if I could pick any pet in the whole world, I wouldn't trade him. Not Norman. Norman, one amazing fish. Look at that. What did he do at the pet store, friends? Did he upgrade that little tiny bowl for a better habitat for his wonderful friend? I'm so glad he did, because fish are happy when they have the adequate size tank. And it's fun to be able to have a fish friend. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Finatics fish friends. We're going to sing a song today called Mr. Sun. And do we love Mr. Sun?
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's a very old one.
Yeah, it's the one we've been singing for a while, and it goes like this. And it goes, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind that tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind that tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on, please shine down on, please shine down on me. Well done, my friends. Thanks for joining us for Finatics Fish Story and Song Time. Bye-bye.
Well, these guys are not Norman, but they're sure some pretty cool goldfish. There's a couple different types in here. The big fancy red guys with a bubbly head, those are called red oranda. Oranda means that it has a bubbly head. And that little guy who's wiggling so hard and he's got the big eyes and the white and the black, that's called panda butterfly tail. There's lots and lots of different types of goldfish. You may be familiar with several different types. Goldfish have been being kept for over 1,000 years. They're from East Asia. They come from wild Asian carp stock. There are several different recognized varieties of goldfish today. Interestingly, all goldfish were actually bred to be seen in ornamental ponds, so their designs are named and designed to be looked at from on top. But we're used to seeing them in a bowl or a tank. They do best in a tank. A bowl is usually too small. Even a fancy goldfish, which won't get very long, still gets pretty good size. Maybe the size of a softball, which is in general just too big for a small bowl. We usually recommend about 30 gallons per fish for a goldfish when they're full size. Of course, a baby goldfish can go in a smaller tank until they get bigger. See their interesting tails. That's called a fan tail when it's actually a double tail. Been bred selectively until fish came up with basically two tails joined at the top to create what we call a fan tail. Having been bred in captivity for over 1,000 years now, they've had lots of time to try to find fish with very special characteristics and to breed them over and over again. So we get lots and lots of different colors in different shapes, even different sizes. When you say goldfish, a lot of times the first thing that comes to mind is these little fellas. These are little comets, or common goldfish, but comet like the thing that flies through the night sky and leaves a tail. Don't ask me why they call them comets, other than they had to call them something. And they can be black or gray or white or orange or red. Sometimes you'll find fancy comets that are kept in ponds, like there's that little guy right there in the bottom of the screen that's got the red head and the white body. He looks like what they'd call a Sarasa comet, which is very pretty when they get bigger. Comets will get up to about a foot. Most of the time when you see a guy about an inch long like this, you think that they'd be fine in a little tiny tank, but at a foot, that's a big fish. Here's a much larger version of a comet. This guy here, there he goes, wandering across the screen. He's big and gorgeous and long fins, a great addition to a pond. Obviously, he'd be way too big for a bowl. And another type of goldfish are these koi here. See those bright metallic colors on these guys. Lots of different color patterns in koi. These are your quintessential pond fish. They get up to 3 feet long. Again, not appropriate for a bowl, but great for an outdoor pond. Koi are one of the absolute favorite for pond fish in all of history. They're known for all their bright colors and for living for a really long time. Some koi have been known to live for over 100 years. Also here we see some what we call Shabunkin and Sarasa comets. The red and white guys, those are Sarasas. The calico guys with the spots, those are a Shabunkin. That's just another type of goldfish. Well guys, we're at the end of another Finatics Fish Story Time. I hope you learned a lot about goldfish today. A lot of beautiful animals out there to enjoy and experience. And when Norman comes knocking on your door, you'll have a really good opportunity to really appreciate him for what he is. We'll see you guys all next week for another episode of Finatics Fish Story Time.